Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Moxie McMurder, and today we're going to talk about Dressed to Kill.
So just a warning, there will be spoilers. Brian De Palma is one of my favourite directors. His visual style and obvious love of suspense and thriller make him one of the most interesting directors to emerge from the American new wave of the 1970s. Dressed to Kill, written and directed by Brian De Palma, stars Michael Caine, Angie Dickinson, Nancy Allen, and Keith Gordon. So Dressed to Kill is an erotic thriller, released in 1980, and is the closest to a giallo that De Palma ever made. It's the story of a dissatisfied housewife who's murdered, and the hunt to find her killer by her son and the sex worker who witnessed the murder. Many see it as a simple rip-off of Hitchcock's Psycho, and I can see why. De Palma's never really denied that Hitchcock's been an enormous inspiration in his career, and Dressed to Kill, much like his 1976 mystery thriller Obsession, has a direct link to Hitchcock. In Body Double, he channels Vertigo and Rear Window. In Dressed to Kill, it has a direct line to Hitchcock's 1960s classic Psycho in more ways than one. In Psycho, Marion Crane, played by Janet Leigh, is bumped off 40 minutes into the film, which really shocked audiences at the time. In Dressed to Kill, Angie Dickinson is killed 30 minutes into the film. There's also the expositional dialogue at the end of both films that explains any psychological loose ends, and both are pretty clumsy and fairly unnecessary. So why is Dressed to Kill problematic? Dressed to Kill manages to be misogynistic, stigmatise mental health problems, and it's transphobic. The violence levied against Angie Dickinson's character was deemed extreme, and the opening shower scene was widely criticised at the time as being objectifying and misogynistic, which is totally understandable. I mean, this woman is literally punished for being sexually active, for arousing the killer and bringing about her own death. Then there's the conflating of split personality, which we would call dissociative identity disorder today, with being transgender. The two are not mutually exclusive, of course. You can be transgender and have dissociative identity disorder, but one does not cause the other. And then, of course, there's the blatant transphobia. Dr. Elliot, or rather Bobby, is a transgender woman. And I would argue that Dr. Elliot, or Bobby, being transgender is not in and of itself a bad thing. The problem is that Bobby is killing people because she's transgender, and that's a big problem. We know that members of the LGBTQ+ community are more likely to be victims of abuse rather than perpetrators of violence. So part of the problem lies in both problems of representation and stereotyping. If every time a serial killer or violent psychopath is portrayed as being transgender, it can influence the general public, who end up with some twisted beliefs when it comes to the transgender community. And then there's the graphic discussion of gender reassignment surgery that comes across as exploitative and, again, unnecessary. So with all that said, why do I love De Palma's Dressed to Kill? I love horror, and Dressed to Kill, while considered a thriller by most people, is actually what I would consider a horror, much the same as Silence of the Lambs. It's a psychosexual horror that plays with your expectations and has some genuinely great scares. With De Palma's trademark meticulous camera movement and set pieces, it really does make this a masterclass in suspense and filmmaking. The use of split screen and split diopter, which is used in many of his films, in Dressed to Kill helps to suggest a split not just in the visual aspect, but in a more psychological way. The split diopter enhances the tension and provides a different perspective. I love the score by Pino Donaggio. It works so well with the dreamlike state that the film carries from the first scene to the last, and yet never lets us forget for a second that we're watching a vicious game of cat and mouse.
Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you don't miss any notifications from me and the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.